Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching Our Community Connected. And thanks to our producer, Jeff Durall. We're at the Hays Regional Airport on Old Highway 40 in the main waiting area, the lounge, if you will, of the Hays Regional Airport with manager and director Bob Johnson. Bob, thanks for taking the time to visit with us today about an upcoming holiday event at the Hays Regional Airport. Talk about it, would you?
Yes, fortunately we're having our second annual Home for the Holidays Christmas Open House. It'll be on December the 1st between 4 and 6 p.m. Starting at 4 o'clock, we'll have free refreshments. There's hot dogs, cookies and stuff for the kids. Santa will be arriving by airplane at 4:30. And Santa will be available for pictures. It's a free thing, so people can come and take their time, take pictures of the kids sitting on Santa Claus' lap. And then at 6 o'clock, for all those people who bring a can of food or a box of food or something to donate for our Christmas food drive, you'll be eligible to win 2 free round-trip tickets to Denver from Great Lakes Airlines. And you do have to be present to win.
Ah, terrific. Sounds like a real family event, Bob.
Last year we had probably 350 people show up. And it was really interesting because I was cleaning fingerprints and nose prints off the windows for a week.
I was going to say, you got a lot of surface area to cover.
We had a lot of surface area, and it was all covered by nose prints.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's great, because there's nothing more fun, I think, than sitting in the lounge area here and watching the planes land and take off. The Great Lakes planes, of course, but even the smaller planes that utilize the regional airport.
Yeah, traffic's been picking up over the last couple of years. According to FAA statistics, we're up about 29% since 2010.
That's good news.
Very good news, especially when it comes to enplanements as far as Great Lakes. Mm-hmm. If we manage to get 10,000 enplanements, that's people that actually leave from the airport, we're eligible for $1 million grant, which really helps out. Absolutely.
Now this is a federal grant which helps for airport improvements, right, Bob?
Yes, it has to do with safety improvements, runways, things like wildlife fences, improvements to the facilities. For instance, our new fire station was an airport improvements grant, and they paid 95% of the cost, and the city or the airport only had to pick up 5%.
I'm glad you mentioned that boarding number of 10,000, Bob, because we hear that number once in a while from commissioners, from government officials and such. We hear it from the airport in their publicity. And so that's the reason it's important, is that if we can reach that goal of 10,000, and that's over a year's span, right, Bob?
Yes.
If we can reach that goal, that means that we do have money coming in from the federal government to be able to support these airport projects.
Right. Normally our allotted money is only $150,000 a year, and it takes several years to build up enough funds to do a large project like renovations of a terminal or something. But with the program under the Essential Air Service, which Great Lakes works under, if we get the 10,000 boardings, then we qualify for the additional funds. And there's a lot of things we can do with $1 million worth of funds.
Talk about Great Lakes a bit, the primary airline that serves the Hays Regional Airport, right, Bob?
Yes. Under our current Essential Air Service program, they were awarded the contract for a 2-year period, and they provide our air service, which is 4 flights per day. I think it's 3 per day on weekends now. And it's from here to Denver and back.
We have had many people tell us about the Essential Air Service and its importance. Talk about it, would you, Bob?
A lot of smaller communities, like even though we're 22,000 is a small community, air traffic is very important to us. But to get an airline to risk the investment of providing the air service, the Essential Air Service gives them a guarantee. They actually subsidize the price of the seats so that they are guaranteed to make enough money to at least break even. They can't fail under the EAS system.
And that's important for a lot of different reasons, yes. Not only for consumers, but for businesses, right, Bob?
It's extremely important. We have major businesses in the city that use the airport to get customers in, to get employees out. The railroad uses us extensively. Waffle Crete, the battery company, EnerSystem, everybody uses it to get people in and out. It's a very essential service. Plus we have UPS coming in out here. We've got air cargo. We've got emergency medical services. We have a division of the State Highway Patrol. The airports are used a lot more than people realize.
I'm glad you mentioned those different areas because it's something we don't think about, that when that Highway Patrol plane has to land, it has an airport available to do that.
They're actually stationed here. We have a helicopter and a fixed wing stationed here. We have the Eagle Med here, which is a great benefit to the city to have that service working out of here. We have fixed wing division that rotates in and out, but we have a helicopter that's stationed here.
Well, and you also have facilities for those private pilots too, Bob.
Yes, we have approximately 72 aircraft based here now. We have a large contingency of charter jets. In 2010, we had about 40 jet operations here on the charter basis, and right now we're over 300 already for this year. And those numbers build up to help us get additional funding.
We have, of course, Great Lakes as the primary carrier which serves the Hays Regional Airport. Several years ago, as you know the history, Bob, there was flights to Denver and flights to Kansas City. The flights to Kansas City were taken away, and now it is a concentration on flights to Denver. How overall, in your opinion, has it been working out to actually reduce the flights to Kansas City, but also to increase the flights to Denver?
Well, to get the biggest bang for the dollar, by only going to Denver, we allow people to go to an airfield that has over 800 connecting flights. Right now, Kansas City's on a reduction. They're going back to 30 gates, and they only have 90 connecting flights per day. So to give the customers a bigger variety of where and what airline they can choose, it's better to go to Denver. It would be nice to have a couple flights to Kansas, but under the current EAS system, it's just not possible. Now that the elections are over, the EAS system is going back in front of Congress. New allocations are going to be made, different things are going to be changed. Some of the cities that are presently getting EAS system support that only have, say, 500 or 600 passengers a year will probably be phased out, and those making the 10,000 will stay. That's why it's extremely important that we keep that 10,000 level.
Extremely important too that we let our lawmakers and officials know that this is an important part of our community. It really is a nice addition, but also a needed addition economically, isn't it, Bob?
Well, yes, because you know, if you have to drive, say, to Kansas City, there's no free parking in Kansas City. You have to pay the expense of at least a tank of gas, and the tank of gas right now is outrageous. Then you have the parking. You usually have to go there the day before, so you have a hotel overnight. Then when you get back, it's too late, so it's another hotel overnight, another tank of gas. I mean, it's 3 times more expensive to try to drive than it is to leave out of here.
And so convenient because of the 4 flights a day, the 3 now on weekend with Great Lakes. You also have, of course, several people that you're answerable to, I guess, as director. Bob, talk about
yes, the airport works under the Director of Public Works, and he works directly for Toby. Toby is the master head of the airport under our Part 139. He is the person.
That's Toby Doherty,
Right.
Hays City Manager.
Right, the Hays City
Let's
Manager.
don't give him too much credit, you know.
He is the head man. But yeah, but you know, it's extremely essential that we keep this airport going. It's just a catalyst to economic development. They finished the economic development impact study last year through the KDOT Aviation Division, and it was determined that the airport brings in $24.6 million in economic impact to the city of Hays. That's a lot of impact.
Say that number again.
$24.6 million.
I think very few entities could say that they have that good, that much return to the economic development of the area.
Yeah, there's approximately 174 people that derive their personal income or business income from the airport.
Bob, I'm sure you've seen as your first impressions, you've been director now for how many years?
Since May of 2010 here.
You've seen the impact that the visual of the airport, and I got to tell you, as a citizen who takes pride in the looks of this facility, it's just a beautiful facility. It makes such a great impression for people who are maybe just coming through, or maybe just visiting for a while, or business people and educators, and so many of the people who use the airport. It's just a beautiful addition to the city of Hays.
Compared to some of the other commercial airports here in the state, we have one of the nicest looking terminal facilities and parking facilities in the area. I mean, some of the airports are so small, when you walk in, you're right into the containment area, the security area. You don't have a large lounge area, you don't have the multimedia that we have. We have free Wi-Fi, we have free parking, we give free coffee. I mean, we're looking after our customers, and it's so great to be able to come to an airport, park for free, have less than 100 yards to get to the ticket area, and when you have to stand in line to go to security, the most you can have is 18 people in front of you, so it just goes so quickly. And once you get into the security area, you're offered a bottle of water. It's nice and convenient. You only have 150 feet to get into the airplane. It's not like going to Denver and spending 2 hours trying to get from one end of the terminal to the other. So it is very nice and very convenient.
Very many amenities as part of the Hays Regional Airport. Talk about Great Lakes and the on-time assessment of Great Lakes. How are they doing?
Right now, they're right in the national average. They're doing better than some and not as good as others, but it's a smaller airline. We are doing everything in our power, even if an aircraft is late, to assure that we try to get to Denver so the connecting flights are met. If a flight has to be canceled, they reschedule another flight right away, so no passenger is left behind. We are always able to maneuver somehow to get everybody out. It's a very rare occasion that a person gets stranded.
Talk about some airport projects. There's a runway project that's underway. Of course, as you mentioned, the fire station that's been newly created with the big open house that took place there for it. Talk about the runways now.
Okay. Starting in the spring, we'll be completely rebuilding and replacing our main runway, which is 1634. That's our longest and widest runway. It's a nearly $8 million project. It'll be an all-new concrete runway, which will allow us, hopefully, as soon as it's in and we get established, we'll be able to entertain other flights from other companies, like charter companies, to make occasional runs to Las Vegas on special 4-day promotions and stuff. Be going to Windover, Utah, maybe Biloxi, Mississippi, or Chicago. But once we get the new runway, then we'll be able to encourage these companies to come in. Right now, because of the deterioration of the runway and its age, they're a little hesitant. But once we get the new runway, we'll be right up there.
So once again, this improvement will make some significant, again, economic opportunities coming.
Also, it'll allow us to update some of our existing navigation aids that are getting up into 30 and 40 years. All our runway lights will be brand new. We just finished the medium intensity light system for our taxiways. Before we had reflectors, now we have nice bright blue lights. So all our nav aids, other than the ILS, will all be brand spanking new. So we'll have less problems.
You're no stranger to airplanes yourself, Bob. Talk about your background and your history.
I've been around airplanes since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. My father was an Army aviator, so I was brought up on an airfield. When I left school, went into the service, I went in as an Army helicopter pilot. I got around 15,000 hours of flying time of my own. I've been in aviation basically all my life. Before I was here, I was the aviation manager in Buena Vista, Colorado, down at Hunter Army Airfield in Georgia. So I've been around airfields from everything from 2,000 operations a day to one operation a day. So been the whole gambit.
Do you still fly?
No, unfortunately, my health just doesn't let me fly anymore. We start wearing trifocals, it's a little hard to see the instruments sometimes.
That must be a little tough watching those planes come in and land and not.
Oh, I still get out with other people in log time here and there, but as a certified pilot, I'm not a certified pilot anymore.
Anything that we haven't mentioned about the Hayes Regional Airport other than the Home for the Holidays and encouragement to all the family members to come out? Talk about that in our final moment.
Well, we are trying very hard to do something at least once a quarter to invite people to the airfield to see what's going on, either from chamber chats to events like this. We also promote the Fly Hayes, which has been a very big thing since I've been here. We start off the first year with around 850. The second year we did over almost 3,000. Last year we did over 2,000. Of course, we had a bad weather day the day before. And our next event, which will help promote the new runway and stuff, we hope to be a super big event. It'll be a fly-in and an open house combined.
Bob Johnson, Director of the Hayes Regional Airport and its manager. For our Community Connection, thanks again to our producer, Jeff Durall, and thanks to you for watching Eagle Community Television, our community connected.